Hey YouTube, good afternoon. It's Friday, July 5th, 2013. I did finish assembling the motorized bicycle. I finished it last weekend, and I gotta tell you, it was a lot of fun. Just motoring down the street. Yeah. It was not so much fun assembling. I had to figure out a lot of things from scratch that were not covered in the instructions, and I'm going to go over those. I made a list of things they don't tell you, things that I wish I had known before I started this, and things that I had to figure out or find via Google search. Yeah, but anyway, it is all assembled. I've been riding it. I've got 50 miles on it so far. During the break-in period, you're only supposed to run it for 30 minutes at a time, and then let it cool off before you ride it again. All right. So I've been making a lot of short trips. All right, and I'm up to 50 miles. Break-in period is 500 kilometers, which is about 310 miles. So, there you go. You also have to, besides limiting the time the engine runs, you have to limit your speed to about 12 miles per hour, which is just barely fast enough to keep the motor from dying. And you want to go faster, it will go faster, but I'm trying to be gentle, break it in gently, and it will last longer. That's what they say. Anyway, you can see I added this milk crate for cargo capacity. I rode the motorbike to work once so far, and I needed a way to carry my tools. This carried my tools, my lunch, jacket. Yeah. Very neat setup. It's just held on with zip ties. Easy to remove. Yeah, I know it would look better without it, but I like the cargo carrying capacity, and I like not wearing a backpack. So, there you go. Alright, I'm going to switch to my other camera and go over some different parts of the bike that I want to tell you about. Alright, so stand by. Hey YouTube. Okay, here is the motorized bike. I'm going to go over quite a few things that I learned about this motorized kit and installation. Okay, first thing is the rear sprocket. That is the rear sprocket right here. That's part of the kit. You can see it's got a big motorcycle chain wrapped around it. Alright. One thing that I didn't know about the rear sprocket is on single speed bikes you may have to enlarge this hole in the center. Alright? You may have to enlarge this hole. They don't tell you that. How I did it was clamp it in a vise and use a half round file and go around and around the inside of the inside hole in the sprocket. It's got to have enough room to clear the hub because that's where the coaster brake mechanism is, and if this sprocket pushes against the hub, the wheel will not turn. Alright? So, yeah, I spent about 45 minutes with the file enlarging that hole. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you how to do it. They don't tell you that you might have to do it. Alright. The other thing is this sprocket is concave this way and convex this way. They tell you in the instructions that with the kit I got, they said the concave side goes towards the spokes. Well, that's not necessarily true. On some bikes, yes. On other bikes, no. See, what you need to do is put it on in a way that it's as straight as possible from the drive gear to the sprocket. You want your chain to be as straight as possible. On some bikes, it works better with the concave part out, and that was the case on this one. I had to take the sprocket off and flip it around. And there's 9 nuts, bolts, washers, lock washers holding it there. So that was like about an hour just to reverse it. Never mind putting it on in the first place. This is a chain tensioner. On this particular bike, no matter where I put this tensioner on this bar, it tipped into the spokes. So I had to clamp it in a vise and whack it with a hammer a few times to bend it out, and then put it back on the bike and see if it was aligned right, take it off, put it back in the vise, whack it some more, put it back on the bike, finally got it right. Okay? They don't tell you might have to do that. They just say to install it. Alright? So, a lot of things you got to figure out for yourself. Also, while we're here looking at the back tire, you can see all the oil and the smudge marks on the white wall. Yeah, white wall tires, not a good choice, because you have oil from the chain splattering, you have oil coming out of the muffler, just a little bit, you know, a very fine mist, but it just ruins the white wall. All right. When it's time to replace this tire, I will get a all black tire, because this just looks ridiculous. All right. Okay. My suggestion, in the instructions I got with this bike, they said to put this sprocket on first. My suggestion is no. Put the motor on first. Then you'll have some idea of how the chain is going to line up with the sprocket. And you have a better chance of getting the sprocket on in the correct orientation the first time. Alright? I'm just saying. I'm just trying to help you learn from my mistakes. Alright? I suggest putting the motor on first, and then see how much clearance you have. You know, get from this angle and try and line it up every angle you possibly can, and see if the chain would be better closer to the spokes or farther from the spokes, which gives you a better alignment. All right. So that's that. The wiring, there was an issue because coming out of the engine we have a black, white, and blue wire. Coming out of the coil we have black and blue. Coming from the kill switch we have two wires. One is white with a yellow stripe, and one is, I don't know, something else. Anyway, the wiring, the instructions for the wiring were not clear. It's a hit and miss. You got to figure it out for yourself. The black and blue, okay, but the kill switch, my kill switch still doesn't work. Yeah. But oddly enough, I can kill the motor by squeezing the clutch. For some reason, squeezing the clutch kills the motor. I don't know why. Alright. I can live with that, because if I have to come to a complete stop, I have to squeeze the clutch. The bike will not idle, but that's fine. It's easy enough to get it started again. You just pedal 7-8 miles an hour and pop the clutch and the motor starts. Okay? So eventually I'll figure out why the kill switch doesn't work. But for now, it's no big deal. It's writable. Another thing they don't tell you, the hose for the carburetor, the gas, the carburetor, does not come with any clamps. It just pushes on, and here on the petcock valve, on both sides of the filter and on the carburetor, the hose just pushes on. Every one of those connections leaks. Okay, so I have added zip ties, and that seems to stop the leaking, but I don't think it's going to stop it for very long, because this area gets very hot, and zip ties are plastic, and they're just not going to hold up to the heat. So eventually I'm going to have to get little metal hose clamps. Alright. I suggest using scraps of inner tubes where the motor mount is, between the motor mount and the frame, to protect the frame, and also to absorb some vibration. And also here, where the chain tensioner is, and the front. Yeah, I had to, the front motor mount, the stuff they gave me, the U-clamp and all that just wasn't working. So I had to drill a hole in the frame, buy a whole bunch of washers. There's 24 washers there. And put a bolt all the way through the frame. But it works. It looks a little retarded, but it works. Okay. Another thing they don't tell you that they should is after riding your bike, the muffler drips oil. Alright? It drips oil out of here. After riding your bike, you need to wipe off the muffler and put a rag underneath it. Especially if you park your bike inside. Alright? Yeah, they ought to tell you that. Okay, one more thing. This motor makes a lot of noise. Okay, and I wanted to quiet it down. So the easiest, cheapest way I found to do that was I bought a package of 2-stroke muffler packing. Alright, this is just fiberglass. And this is a big package. It was $11 on eBay. But I just used a little piece like this. You can see the little piece that's missing. And took off the screw on the bottom of the muffler. There's a screw here. This cap comes off. Put the packing in there. Put the cap back on. Screw it on. It quiets it down quite a bit. Alright, I'm very happy with that. Alright, I have added a speedometer, which is here, and a water bottle holder. I really like this water bottle holder. If you have a bike that doesn't have the screws for a water bottle holder, this one is called a bushwhacker. It's an insulated nylon holder, and it comes with a water bottle. It just attaches to the handlebars, and I also put a piece of paracord around the stem just to keep it from wiggling too much. Alright, very cool. 1.5 liter tank, which is 0.6 gallons. Yeah, I think that's about all. That's about all I wanted to cover on this bike. Alright, back to the webcam. Stand by. Okay, there's a couple more things I want to cover. I bought this motor kit from enginesonlineshop.com. I got it for $129 early June. The price is now $169, so it's gone up $40. But the price seems to go up and down. Alright. And they have the right to do that, to adjust the price according to demand. Right now, they do have a black motor kit for $139. Alright. That's a good deal if you don't mind a black motor, or if you prefer black. $139 is a pretty good price. But look around on the internet, and you could probably beat that price. Another thing, it was advertised 150 miles per gallon. No. These motors do not get 150 miles per gallon. That's just BS. Alright. According to some experts I've talked to, 80 miles per gallon is a realistic expectation right out of the box after the break-in period. Okay, so after your first 300 miles, 500 kilometers, your engine is worn in, it's broken in, it's going to get better gas mileage, and you will also be using less 2-stroke oil. Yeah, so it's all good. Another thing I want to mention, one of my YouTube friends, Earl, built a bike. He made a video. I will post the link in the video description to his bike. It's just a short 30-second video of his bike. But his will idle. His will sit there and run by itself. Mine won't. I'll figure it out eventually. anyway, Kenny told me about Motorized Bike Club group on Facebook, and I have joined it. And if you ask a question, if you post a question on this group, knowledgeable people will answer you. People who have built these bikes and used them for some period of time and have, they seem to have quite a bit of expertise. They will answer your questions, and that is really helpful. All right, that's great. So thanks, Kenny, for telling me about that. I've already got some ideas from those people. The name of the kit I bought is Flaming Horse Silver Slant. If you want to buy the same kit, yeah. As far as the bike, I do like the bike, and the motor eventually fit the bike, but it was a pain in the ass to make it fit. But it's a Schwinn Delmar from Walmart.com. It was $130. Just a little under $130 with tax. Shipping was free. Walmart.com has free shipping if you spend more than $45, I think. So that's cool. Yeah, it looks good. It's fun to ride, and it will work. But if you bought a frame with more of a V shape and less of the swoop on the front frame, it would work better. All right, I'm just saying. Okay, that's it. Yeah, I'm gonna go for a ride. So thanks for watching, and if you do build a motorized bike, or if you already have one, please post some comments and some video responses of your bike. I'd like to see it. We can all learn from each other, and it's inspiring to see other people who have successfully built these things. Trust me, I was beginning to wonder. All right, have a great day. Peace out.